Yeah,
we're here finally.
What's up, fuckers?
Yeah, we've been working on this. This is a different thing than whatchamacallit. This is going to be a lot different than what you're used to hearing from Knuckles and G Nice.
Absolutely.
Heel and Phase, Victory Lane.
Hey, and James, also, unlike, trying to force ourselves on porn stars and trying to...
You mean to tell me you wouldn't try to force yourself on a porn star?
Allegedly.
I'm going to let you finish.
Allegedly. We can still get it up. It's still fine. And we're great. We're awesome. And you're playing,
We're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And this is what makes it different. You can see it on the camera. We're going to do the salute for it, and not just this. I am a Browns fan. So I officially...
I'm not cheering for that.
So I have finally got to actually open the Miller Lite.
Miller Lite?
Or Bud Light.
I tell you can't even get your beers right, man.
It happens.
Now, folks, he's probably about 20 beers in, so he's all loopy, doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'm not 20 beers into it right now.
He probably doesn't even know that the Browns, tied a game or something or
No,
lost.
I know we're not the worst team in the division. That's the Steelers.
All right, that's fair.
So, with that being said, this is going to be a different show, like we said. We're going to talk everything.
Everything.
So, where do you want to lead out first? Do you want to talk about McGregor Khabib?
Oh, man.
The press conference from yesterday?
I'm going to shoot my load already. All right, yeah, we have to because now I'm excited. I mean, James, looking at this, and I talked to a...
Parent advisory.
Yeah.
We got to put that logo up here soon. Parent advisory.
Yeah. But I talked to a local radio host about this, and you know who.
You going to name drop?
I'm not going to name drop. I'm going to be nice, because I don't know if he would appreciate that, but but we talked about the presser, and we just thought it was fucking phenomenal. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Right.
You look at it. So Khabib kept on talking to McGregor, saying, "Oh, are you going to talk in your native tongue, the Gaelic and whatnot?" And McGregor's like, "I only have one fucking language, mate. I only got one fucking language." And Khabib kept on kind of pushing him there, and then Conor, my God, he just went to town.
But this is what Conor has done.
Exactly. And then at the end of the presser, he starts talking in Gaelic, and it was the funniest thing in the world. And then when they went up for the face-off, James, Jiminy Christmas, man.
Well, this
was intense.
Did you hear that McGregor did sign an 8-fight deal?
I mean, honestly, if he loses this fight, it doesn't matter. The one that really puts pressure on is Habib. Because you look at him, he is undefeated right now, 26-0.
Right.
And people still doubt him. And you got to look at it. Habib, he is a badass motherfucker. Badass motherfucker.
At 8 years old, was wrestling grizzly bears.
And we're not saying our buddy Tyson here is a Conor dick rider.
Yes, we can say that here.
We can say that here, and I always say DR, and me and Tyson both know what that means, and so now I'm gonna say dick rider. Anyway, and for me, Khabib and Conor is just gonna be one of those iconic matches. Fights.
Yeah.
It's not a match.
This is a war.
This is going to be a war, and those wars are just intoxicating.
And it's going to happen in Madison. Where is it, in Vegas?
In Vegas, yeah. It's going to be at the T-Mobile.
Which, if McGregor wouldn't have done the whole thing at the Barclays Center,
right,
this could have been a Madison Square Garden fight.
But that amplified it. Now, some people are saying it's a work.
I think some of it, to an extent,
To an extent, maybe. But Conor, with his he went full Irish on this one and just went ballistic. And I think he went a bit too far, yes. But moving forward, he's going to have no regard for human life.
Well, no, because McGregor's not fighting for money at this point. He's already proved what he can do.
And he said as much. And
right.
He's pretty much, he told Habib and his whole entire camp, he's just doing it because he wants to beat the piss out of him.
Right, and in a way, you kind of want that from one of your premier fighters. You really do.
And also with this, too, Conor didn't outright say he was going to finish Habib. He didn't. He said, what he needs to do is knock him out in the first round. That's what he said. But Conor would say, hey, I'm going to knock this guy out within a minute in the first round.
Right.
And he'd be right.
He would be really right.
So who paid for that Jose Aldo pay-per-view?
I did. I admit that I paid for that pay-per-view, but...
And you could have gone to B-Dubs. Just saying.
I blamed it on my 5-year-old niece saying she actually accidentally did it.
Oh.
But if you weren't at B-Dubs, would you have fucking bought that fight?
No.
You would not have paid to see that fight.
No, because I'm a cheap bastard.
Well, we know that.
And I'd rather somebody else pay for it.
That's very true.
So, I mean, come on. Who you talking to, eh? Who you talking to, eh?
Oh, this is gonna get.
It's gonna get raunchy, like Stormy Daniels and Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger.
That's true.
Roethlisberger.
I mean, then we got the news about Jon Jones.
Jon Bones Jones, and where he's not going to be the main event for the November card, which is in Madison Square Garden.
But who's to say he doesn't end up at Bellator?
He's still signed to the UFC. He still has like 6 more fights with the UFC.
Right.
I think something like that.
Allegedly.
3 to 6 fights.
That's allegedly.
But Dana said he's not going to fight till early 2019.
And I think it's a good idea, honestly. Let him get his brain back in and running and back into that fighter mentality.
But here's the thing: you can't get rid of that easily.
No.
It's one of those things where you still have it, and you, especially with Jon and how supremely talented this fucker is.
Yeah.
Like, out on the score, where it's me and Garrett, I was giddy as a schoolgirl because I thought, for this fight, it'd be in November, DC versus Jon, for at least the light heavyweight, if not the heavyweight title.
Right.
That's probably not going to happen, which sucks because they still don't have a main event for that fucker.
Not yet.
And that's the thing. What I don't understand is why are you pussyfooting around and waiting, and now you have Jon Jones, who is now coming off like a lengthy suspension.
Was it 15 months or
something like that?
Yeah.
And now he's probably one of the biggest draws, regardless of what happens. People are clamoring for a third fight between him and Daniel Cormier.
An actual fight that happened.
Exactly. Because the 2 times previous, Jon Jones has owned DC. And if I was DC, I'd duck and dodge. Especially with that March hard date as well. So, I mean, with...
Are you ready for this? I got something that will make you even giggity.
Giggity.
Brock Lesnar, Jon Jones. Winner fights Cormier at heavyweight.
I could see that, especially
because Stipe earns his rematch.
Right. So what you could do is in November have DC versus Stipe. January, since both Brock and Jon are allegedly open to fight, then have those 2 go after it in January. Then in March have Jon versus DC or Brock versus DC. But that is not what DC wants, because he would rather have Brock now, which I don't blame him. Because you have Brock Lesnar right away gives you the absolute best chance to beat him.
Do you believe that Cormier can out-wrestle Brock? Mat-wise. I mean, Cormier is an Olympian.
Right.
Brock never got to that level.
Right, because he chose football over wrestling.
Right.
So, I would say it is truly a toss-up in the most epic of senses, because...
This is a chess match.
It's a chess match. And who's the smarter fighter in this case? Daniel frickin' Cormier. He is. He is the king when it comes to chess matches.
He's the king of Twinkies.
Right, but he's smart. Hence why he beat Stipe, other than Stipe beating himself, and hence why he was such a dominant heavyweight for the longest of long times. Even though he was a bitch, didn't fight Kane, but then again, we understand why he didn't want to fight Kane.
But we've always been told, and you are a retired fighter.
Right.
if someone came to you and said there's a heavyweight title fight, or whatever weight class you fought in, but you have to fight your best friend, would you do that fight?
Depend on how much of an ass whooping somebody wanted.
No, I'm just saying as the fighter in you. We've seen plenty of friends go in and fight before.
That's true, but you have to have
We've seen brothers do this with the Shamrock brothers.
You have to have that mentality of deleting any past relationship once you're in a fight, because if you're in a fight... Exactly. If you're in a fight, then you just pretty much have to block everything out. And if you don't, then you're going to hesitate, and maybe your opponent, whoever, best friend, brother, whatever, is going to knock you the absolute fuck out. So, I mean, there's that aspect to it. It's a mental game. DC probably doesn't have that mental game because he sees Kane as a brother. So he probably couldn't get past that point. John Jones, different story.
There's a reason why he's called Bones.
Yeah.
I mean, some dice, he's ready to go.
Exactly. John is an animal. And so, I don't understand why he chooses to take drugs and whatnot, because he doesn't need them. Because he's supremely talented regardless.
Right, and that's what I think frustrated all of us, seeing him keep getting in this trouble. That he's like, even Dana White said it, this dude is so talented, he doesn't need the dough.
Right.
But the question is, why though? Did he feel like...
Well, I mean, and what we talked about with Rob Conway.
Yes.
The need to stay relevant. I mean, I think that maybe is what John was thinking, is he needs X, Y, and Z to stay relevant and continue to train harder.
Right.
So maybe that's it. Maybe that's just his thought process there.
Which I'm not mad at him. Really, no, I'm not.
I mean, honestly, for me, I don't give a fuck if you shoot up. I mean, as long as you do it and, you know, aren't overdoing it and killing your body, that's fine. Because all steroids does is it reinforces your muscles.
And it shrinks your testicles.
Kind of. So actually with that, after the age of 25, everything stops growing. Down in that dicular area.
Yes, we're doing testicular talk at this point.
I said dicular, so get over it. And so with that, after the age of 25, everything stops growing. So that's kind of the optimal time when you would take a testosterone booster / steroids.
Right.
With that as well, you also have that starting decline in testosterone. Once you hit 25, it's a little bit of a drop-off with testosterone.
Which is where you see fighters like Brock Lesnar that got popped for, what was it, a hormone blocker?
Yep.
Which we know Brock was juicing.
Which, if you look at steroids, you have to take a certain regimen. Now, you have to take the actual steroid. You have to take an organ blocker or organ protector. You also have to take estrogen blockers. You have to take maybe another supplement to make sure that what is in your body isn't going to destroy your body.
Right. And
so it's a lot of steps. So people who test positive multiple times, they have all that in their system. And so when you saw to test them, it's going to be one of those things where it's just nuts.
Vitor Belfort.
Well, his was TRT, testosterone replacement therapy.
Which is legal in most...
Exactly.
As long as it's monitored.
Right. And that's what the UFC basically did. It says, we understand that you need this Vitor, but we don't want you to take as much. And you saw the difference between a non-monitored Vitor Belfort, who is a yoked motherfucker,
and then what we got.
And now you see Vitor Belfort. I don't know if you go to his Instagram. Vitor Belfort is just jacked out of his gills again, and he's over 40.
Right.
And this dude is crazy.
It's
crazy.
It's just how that this works is because, like you said, these guys get older. They got to find a way to stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to find a way to keep competitive with these younger guys coming in. And it's hard to do. It really is. So, we do have a UFC fight night tomorrow night. Main event is Santos and Anders.
Honestly, after Manua went out, and then I was excited for Manua versus Santos. That was a really good one. But then, like I said, Manua left, injured, and then it's Santos versus Anders. I forget what the first fight was. It was
What on?
for Manua versus shit.
And which one did you say they don't have the main event for? 230?
Yeah, 230.
They do. You're right. They do not still have
But
the main event.
you have Jacare Souza. You have
Diaz and Poirier.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Adesanya, who's a phenomenal fighter, but he's going up against Brunson, who's also a really good fighter. So that's gonna be a very, very good fight.
Weidman Rockhold. I could see that being the main event of this card.
I can't because it's the 25th anniversary. That's not gonna happen.
That's true. Never mind.
You can't.
I reject my previous statement.
Damn it, James. Get your head on straight.
Well, there's a lot to try to remember with this stuff.
It is, and I'm lucky I can. But actually really funny, the UFC Fight Night right after 229, which is the Conor versus Khabib, Artem Lobov, who's best friends with Conor, is fighting off against a guy whom I can't say his name. Zabira Tukov?
That sounds right. It's Russian. We know it's Russian just based on the way it's spelled.
And then also you have Kirkonov versus Cummins. Where is? I can't remember what card this group is on.
And what I did want to bring up is during the McGregor-Khabib fight, me and you will be doing a companion thing.
Yep.
And I wanted to put that out there now. We're going to make a bet. It's like a hot challenge bet.
Okay.
One has to take McGregor-Khabib, which you'll probably go McGregor.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Once it gets closer to the fight, we'll do a video where we'll put out on Facebook Live who our winner is.
Yep.
The loser has to eat one of those hot chips that we see everybody eating. The fire chips. The one that comes in one box.
What the hell are you talking about?
Like, if let's just say you pick McGregor, right, and Khabib wins, you have to eat what's considered the hottest chip in the world.
That is, and that's such a huge fight to fucking call, too, and it's such a close fight. I mean, this legit is going to be the closest fight. Oh my goodness.
What'd you just say?
I found new boo. I found new boo.
You found new boo?
Sorry, I'm going through the UFC fight cards.
He's going through the Pornhub website.
Yeah, totally.
Let's bring up on the 229 Watterson and Harry.
That's going to be a good one. I think Watterson's going to be too much because she's on quite the streak right now.
But do you really want to count out the karate hottie?
That's Michelle Watterson.
Well, then Lil Bulldog, I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
Watterson's 15-6.
Records don't matter.
Sometimes it does, though.
No, it's all about matchup. It really doesn't matter. It's all about matchup. So say for Ashley Yoder versus Amanda Cooper, KOs 0% for Ashley, 25% for Cooper, 80% submission, 50% for Cooper. So for Ashley, she has an 80% submission rate, which tells me
that she's good on her back.
Yes. Ashley, hook me up. Look me up. But with this, she is going to go more to the ground or to a decision because the other 20% is in a decision.
Right.
And she's 5-4, and Amanda's 4-4. But she has a little bit more variety in her game. She has 50% submission, still good on the ground, 25% KO, 25% decision. But height and reach go to Ashley. Height by 4 inches, reach by 5 inches.
Which is usually normal if you see a 4-inch height difference.
Right. Now, here's the thing, though. Usually, I would say height and reach don't matter if it's within 1 or 2 inches.
But you're talking
about an extra 4 inches.
And
so imagine, guys, an extra 4 inches on your dick. I mean, come on.
Or like what John Jones is able to do.
Right,
because
exactly.
of his reach, he can keep you off of himself and into the cage,
Right.
he can work this a little bit more than most people can.
Right.
So are you pleased with the UFC breakdown right now?
I mean, yeah. I mean, though I will say real quick, Ferguson versus Pettis is going to be the most possibly a showstopper. It's going to be possibly one of those that takes the show. Because Anthony Pettis is now at a point where he's back to where he used to be.
Which
back
is
in the
phenomenal
Strikeforce days.
because he was
Not Strikeforce, whatever.
a WEC.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that. But yeah, I mean, he's finally back to where he needs to be. And if he beats Tony, and Tony's coming off that LCL crazy injury where he was going to fight Habib, now doesn't, now made that whole lightweight division all fuckered up. So, I mean, this is just going to be one of those things that it's going to be
Right.
come in your pants kind of shit.
So, all right, do you want to talk about the robbery that happened last Saturday, the alleged robbery
Of
Triple G and Canelo? I know we're both not big boxing people,
So,
but before this fight came out, we did get Floyd Mayweather's fighting Pacquiao again.
right.
And we've had quite the lengthy discussion over this fight that's coming up.
It's all money.
Well, Mayweather's already said he's going to make 9 figures for
Nine
this.
figures, and so is Pacquiao. Or allegedly 7 to 8 or 7 to 9 figures. But here's going back to Canelo and Triple G, because I honestly don't give two shits about Mayweather or Pacquiao at this point. I really don't. It's not something that's worth talking about per se.
Right. It's not something that we haven't seen before.
Right. With Canelo and Triple G, this is now the second time that there's been alleged controversy.
Right.
But I think they got the decision right.
Do you think they got it right this time?
I do. Now, I think the draw, it should have gone to Triple G. Honestly, because he went... Pardon me. He landed more punches. He was more effective with his strikes. Just like Canelo was in this last fight.
Right.
Because you look at Triple G before and after, Triple G looked hurt. He was... If it would have gone one more round, he would have been knocked out.
Very true.
So... Pardon me.
We're getting some feed already.
Oh.
Cap City from the Ohio Media School.
Cap City.
It's a great show.
Hey, glad. Thank you, Cap.
Tune in on Underground on Tuesdays in Nitty.
Nitty
Underground.
Nitty. Our
and
guy.
he will hook you up and talk about everything going on in the community.
Right.
He'll take phone calls as well. But I agree, like, this is what had happened. I was at home that Friday night getting ready to come in to do Heel and Face like I normally do on Friday.
Right.
And I get a message from, and I just got the notification that Tyson's is on right now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, and he doesn't have a hat on
and
either.
he's bald.
You little fuck.
So let's just go back to where it was. I got a message from one of the other show hosts at Score asking me, who do I got in this fight?
Yeah.
I said, I take Canelo, period.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and my brother discussed this as well, and he's like, who do you got? I said, if it goes past 4 rounds, Canelo's got this fight.
Yeah.
Because Canelo has went distances before.
Oh, yeah.
Triple G's made it, what, 4 rounds is his longest fight?
He's been in, like, he had that draw with Canelo earlier, which went the distance. He's gone the distance plenty of times. It's just he is a power puncher.
And you eventually work yourself out.
Yeah, so of his 39 wins, he has 36 knockouts.
Not good.
I mean, it is good, but it's not necessarily great. But I don't know, man. It's just one of those things too that Triple G isn't very light on his feet anymore either. So Canelo is stupid fast.
Well, yeah, he always has
Which
been.
it doesn't make sense why he would take roids, because that slows you down, if anything.
Well, maybe he was trying to add more power to his game.
He doesn't need it.
But
That's what I
going
don't
against somebody like Triple G, maybe he thought,
Stick and move.
well, maybe after 4 rounds.
Maybe.
Triple G's tired. He hits one good
Hey,
hook.
have you ever seen The Fighter with Christian Bale? And
Yes.
Head body, head body, head body. That's all you gotta do. Head body, yeah, you just gotta go head body, and you're set, man. I mean, especially if you have the speed aspect to you.
If you watch Rocky, you gotta eat lightning and crap thunder.
Yeah, and just pound the body.
And try to catch chickens.
Just pound it, pound the body.
Well, whatever you do on your own time is your time. So, as you guys have been watching, we did do our preview this week. We are going to be doing Rocky Top 5, not this week. That will be next Saturday.
Right.
And actually, next Saturday, this will not be the studio. We will actually we're having a new studio built right now.
Oh, yeah. We
So,
fancy bitches up in here.
right, so we made sure before we brought ourselves to you guys, we had a studio being built.
Right.
We got the travel microphone.
Absolutely.
So everything is going to be ready. So next week, next Saturday, we're not done yet, guys. We still got NFL to talk about.
Uh-huh.
Some WWE we're still going to talk about.
Got some
And,
music.
some music news. And I got one of the most fucked up news stories
Right.
that I've got to read. Me and Mr. Justice here, we sat down and read it. And we lost it just reading just the caption.
Isn't Reddit just one of the most beautiful places you've ever seen?
I got this off Facebook.
I know, but isn't Reddit just one of the most beautiful places you've ever seen?
Yes, because that's the kind of stuff you find on Reddit.
I mean, at my internship, all I pretty much do is just scroll through Reddit and go yee dee 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 dee. Try and make the.
You did have an internship until that comment.
Yeah. No, because the computer I use is up on the screen.
So they can see what you're
Yeah,
looking at.
exactly. And so I try and make them laugh, and sometimes they laugh, sometimes they don't, and I'm like, shit.
Sometimes you get threatened with lawsuits and threatened to get fired. So with that being said, next week, Rocky, top 5 boxing movies.
Yep.
You only can use one Rocky movie.
Yeah, don't.
But we've discussed this. If you got Rocky 5 in your top 5,
You are banished.
yeah, we will block you from the show page.
You are banished. We don't give a fuck.
Right?
Like,
we
literally.
don't.
Like, if you think we're kidding, we really don't. We don't give a fuck.
We're done with Rocky 5. I would take Balboa over Rocky 5.
See, that's a great question. That's something we can dive into.
Maybe we do the poll from now until Saturday. Balboa or Rocky 5 gets number 6 on the top 5 list. Or does it?
Oh, man.
I mean, the only thing Rocky 5 that really had going for it was just the street fight at the end.
Right, and that was the only thing.
And
You
the scene
can't-
down in the basement where he's popping the bag.
But that still doesn't give you a good movie. Rocky Balboa, you do have that aspect of it's Rocky a little bit.
He's getting
older.
back in the ring.
I tell you what movie kind of twisted the tides into a better direction is Creed.
Definitely, with the second one coming out.
Yep.
Ivan Drago being brought back up, his son being brought into this one. Which, we're not going to talk boxing movies until next Saturday. You guys have time. Send us, what's the email?
handsjustice@gmail.com.
Or you can email us on Facebook.
You can also get a hold of us on Instagram at hands_of_justice, as well as you can go to the Facebook page that you're watching now.
Right, or Mixcloud, which will
Has
be...
Hands of Justice. We'll have this episode uploaded here shortly after we're done, of course, since, well, fuck us, right?
Right, that's what we do. We work our bones off.
And then YouTube also, if you wanted to see my beautiful mug. I don't know about James over here.
Hey, I'm in a great mood after that football game, so that's all I need to see.
That's all you need for a year is just one win.
Not one win.
And a tie, I'm sorry.
I got a tie.
I said one win and a tie.
I thought you meant like a necktie. I got a Browns tie. So with that being said, now we're going to move into, what do you want to start with first? We're going to say the news story for the end.
Yeah, because that's a good one.
That's the what the fuck segment. That's what we're going to call it, the what the fuck.
What the fuck did you just do, you
Right.
little shithead?
So, all right,
shitheads,
we're going to
actually.
be going probably another half hour, so about 10 minutes till, if you guys got kids watching,
Turn
which
it
I
off.
hope you don't because of the
Yeah.
fucking language.
Right.
We're going to get even worse.
I mean, really, if you're having your kids watch this right now, I mean, fuck you.
It's great parenting, though. We're giving you great knowledge. Honestly,
on
we're
on how to cuss and how to talk about people
No, we're-
beating the fuck out of each other.
No, we're talking about why you don't use steroids.
I didn't say you shouldn't use steroids.
Well, it was implied.
No. I mean, you can't.
Kids, we do not condone drug usage.
You lying shithead.
So, all right. So, what do you want to go into first? The big Impact news was Abyss.
Yeah, I mean that was huge when it comes to Impact Wrestling, and well, I can't start Impact Wrestling without saying shout out to my girl Scarlett Bordeaux, my lady, my lady. She gets me, James.
Abyss is well deserved.
Yeah.
To go into the Hall of Fame.
He's one of the few that have lasted as long as they have.
Right.
You look at all the people who have come before him, a la AJ Styles, James Storm.
Well, he was still there.
Booby Rude.
Yeah, Booby Rude. Then you had like Samoa
Joe. You have Jeff Jarrett, who's been in and out for the past couple of years, but giggity. You also have. Well, I mean, you also have aspects of like a Sting, a Jeff Hardy, a Kurt Angle,
a Ric Flair,
Jay
Lethal.
I mean, but can we really say Ric Flair? Because I mean, he was well past his prime at that point. He should have just like retired.
But he is in their Hall of Fame.
Okay.
For what it's worth, he is in their Hall of Fame. All right, and also Ring of Honor signed Ashley Rain. For those that don't know, Madison Rain. Josh Matthews' wife.
I wonder if she does that in bed.
I mean,
would you want that though?
No.
Just that horrible fucking screech. Like,
all right.
Jesus Christ.
Before we talk Raw and SmackDown, I do got some news.
Yeah, she is Raw on the SmackDown, huh?
We got some little basic news. Rey Mysterio's son has begun training.
I'm your puppy.
He's training.
I wonder if he's gonna wear that shirt.
He's training with Lance Storm up at the Storm Academy.
I mean, that's really good for him because Lance Storm is probably one of the best technical wrestlers, and even Ray is probably like, hey, you can do that. I mean, that's if anybody, that says a lot about Lance Storm, and Ray's kind of trust with him, and saying he could probably gone to any wrestling school he fucking wanted.
I think Lance Storm is considered one of the most underrated talents that we had in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, his only downfall is he couldn't talk for shit.
Right.
Stone Cold says, what?
Right. Then we got Rey Mysterio officially signed a 2-year deal. Or was it 3? I think it was a two-year deal, which will not, he's just waiting on the call back.
Right.
Which will be after the Jericho Cruise at the end of October because he's still set up for it. Now they got the Stiller Bud Light one. Sasha Banks was pulled from the Mixed Match Challenge due to injury, as Alexa Bliss was.
Yeah.
So, now we're getting into something that I saw before we get in. Did you see that apparently Triple H is meeting with Alberto Del Rio about a possible re-signing?
I mean, he didn't leave on the worst of terms.
But
but not of the best of terms.
Look at the relationship with Paige. You got Paige finally in a good place.
Right, and you'd basically be enabling just a bad situation, so...
Because on this season of Total Divas, they are going to talk about the porno, the sex tape, and her...
Lita?
No.
Oh, okay.
Paige. And they're going to talk about her failing drug tests and drug usage. I just think it's a bad idea right now to bring in a Del Rio when he's had so many problems.
Well, and his problems aren't necessarily in the ring, which is the most annoying part about it.
It's all backstage.
Right. It's all backstage in his goddamn attitude.
Right, and I just don't think right now it's a good deal. And I... What?
Demi Lovato.
Yes, he is actually looking at memes as we're doing the show.
I love memes. If you know me, honestly, send the page memes. That's all I want. Just post memes.
But wrestling, boxing are just totally fucked up ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck. Just memes.
Then,
make me smile.
All right, so.
Sorry, off topic.
Impact did meet with WWE officials.
Right. And
this was up at Stanford.
Right, and what we both have assumed is that they just want the video rights, or they just might buy out Impact.
And this is the interesting thing. Vince was not present. This was Triple H's team that met with Impact.
Which is interesting for the sheer fact of, I think they're starting to transfer over into the Triple H days now. Because the XFL is starting up in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon is spread really, really thin. He probably isn't as hands-on as what he has been. And
he's not as hands-on as what Donald Trump is apparently supposed to be.
With Stormy Daniels?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that's Roethlisberger. I'm sorry. Sorry.
But from what I'm reading here, it speculated that it could be interested in a deal that would see them make money by giving the network access to their footage or TV shows.
I mean, that would be interesting because they had a Impact had what's it called? God damn it!
Impact's got their own.
They had the Impact Zone for the long time, TNA Impact. Then they had just other shows with like Tony Schiavone and Mike Tenay.
Which
and other stuff like that.
You open that up. Tony Schiavone is actually going to be on commentary for the main event of the NWA 70th anniversary match between Cody.
That's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, to see Schiavone back on that table after all the years he put in with NWA
and WCW as well,
and Jim Crockett Promotions and all them. So that's going to be. It's good to see Schiavone back though. It really is.
He was like. Other than JR and King, him and Tenay were like the voice I remember the most.
Other than maybe Dusty, when WCW or Bobby.
Well, I never really watched WCW because by the time I could remember, it was already off.
Well, yeah, you didn't have the glory that we did.
I'm mid-90s baby.
So we're gonna just bring up Raw. Anything?
Paige's sex tape?
Well. That might have been China's sex tape name.
Too soon?
I think even something in this room didn't even like that comment.
I mean, the ghost. You know what? It's probably the ghost of China. She's like, don't say my name in vain, bitch. I'll smack you.
So let's just get to what we want to talk about. Taker and
promo.
And Triple H. They officially announced that Kane is going to be in the Undertaker's corner.
So he's basically going to say, after winning the mayor of whatever fucking town he's at, he's just going to go and...
But WWE actually donated money
to his
township.
Yeah, no, go figure.
Right?
I mean, what else are they going to fucking do? He's going to run for mayor and... I don't know, yeah. And
then we got Lio Rush.
Mm-hmm.
It's official. He's now.
Is he gonna botch another powerbomb?
Is he the side piece to now Bobby Lashley?
If they make that a tag team, I'm gonna.
No, they're saying that Lio Rush is done wrestling. He will now be as just a managerial role only.
Why would you do that? He's still young as shit.
But from what was reported last week by Aaron. That Vince is not really happy with his size, and he's afraid that he's going to get hurt, even on the 205 Live roster.
I mean, he's small as shit, so I mean.
Right.
Okay.
And we did see this new thing with managers now that Drake Maverick is the manager of the AOP.
I was seriously there when he first debuted with AOP, and me and my brother were like, "What the fuck?"
It's like
that. There was no build-up. There was no lead-in to say, oh, hey, by the way, AOP is going to get another manager, and it's not Paul Ellering. And it's not going to be anybody that actually makes any sense.
They did Paul Ellering dirty. We all know that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he probably just wanted to step back and not have to deal with that shit of, going town to town to town to town. But, shit, put a chick with him. Like, put Dana Brooke with him.
That actually would not be a bad call.
Right. I mean... She just fits that managerial role.
No, you just want to see her in the military get up. You want to see something like what ECW had.
She could probably eat me, and not in the good way. Because she is twice as strong as I am right now.
Well, she also was a power lifter.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So, we got this horrible main event. Corbin, Roman. I mean,
God, who gives a shit?
It was a regular match.
You already said too much. You already
Right.
said too much. Because it's not worth a damn.
Right, it's not worth it to me. Then we get into SmackDown, and still the best angle on SmackDown, other than Samoa Joe and AJ, is Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Honestly,
I just like the leather pants. So
the feud-wise between these two.
give me the leather pants. I don't
Well,
care.
hey, that's all on you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, it's interesting that it's the old Attitude Era again.
Yeah, I mean, and the fans still quite haven't turned on Becky, which
I don't think they're going to.
no, I mean who cares?
Did anybody turn on Sting? No.
No.
No matter what they did to Sting, he never turned.
Right.
So, all right. NXT, Bobby Fish is returned,
Cool.
which sets up, now you can get the old 4-on-4 War Games back. The Undisputed Era versus whoever the fuck you want to put them against.
I mean, really, at this point, it doesn't really matter if you do like Aleister Black, Ricochet,
Matt Riddle
with his bare ass feet, just doing whatever the fuck this
and
surfer
Kenny
shit.
Omega.
Okay. Okay. I love Kenny Omega. I'm a Kenny Omega mark, but the likelihood of that, slim to damn none.
Well, no chance.
There's a little chance. But,
So, yeah, we discussed this as well. I don't know if we'll get anything right now off this question. Macho Man in his prime. You could pick one person to put him in the ring against. From the current roster, who would it be?
we said two names that were interesting to me.
I think it's the two names everybody's going to say, honestly.
AJ and Seth are probably the two biggest names, but honestly, looking outside of the WWE, Kenny Omega is the primo name for me.
What about a Morrison? Or a Sami Callihan?
Sami Callihan would be interesting, especially if you went like late 80s Macho Man. That'd be interesting.
Well, it would be about the late 80s because it would be him in his prime.
Right. But John Morrison would be a stretch for me. I think it would be good, but
Screw it, just bring Ricky Dragon back to his prime and let them do it again now.
I mean, yeah.
What about like a Ricochet?
Again, I think it's too much athleticism.
Velveteen Dream.
I mean, he's never had a bad match, so
That's what I'm saying.
that could be good. I don't know how Macho Man would do with the metrosexual line, but ooh yeah, Velveteen Dream. What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
What? He'd be the one person that, they say Macho Man, like, that was his voice and whatnot, but somehow Velveteen Dream would break that.
Right. He would give him
He would
like.
break it somehow.
I mean, it's interesting to think of some of these fantasy bookings from all the older days that I grew up with. Macho Man was past his prime when you were born.
Right, and I would say Ricochet versus shit, I just forgot his name. Dragon something. Damn.
Dragon Azteca.
No. God damn it.
What about a Macho Man versus Pentagon?
That would be interesting.
Or Jericho versus
Jericho. Okay.
Now
Now
we're
we're starting to get a little bit going. I would also say, in his actual prime, Stone Cold versus Randy Savage.
I could see that. I
Right.
really could. What about like a?
Fucking computer.
Did you die on me?
I don't know.
Might have been an update. What about like Osprey?
Again, I think with
Too
Macho.
athletic.
Yeah, because I think with Macho Man, he was too stiff, like most wrestlers back in that time.
Right, because of the way they were trained.
Right, and how big they fucking were, and how much roids they were taking, and X, Y, and Z. But
I never took no roids, brother.
and you're like, Bullshit.
Which we respect Macho Man. We do.
We do. Oh, yeah, but to say he never took roids.
At the end. I don't think early
Yeah,
in his career.
that's fair.
Towards the end, I think he did. Just like with Eddie Guerrero.
Right.
Towards the end of their career, they did. Because we brought it up where you have to stay younger, hungrier,
Right.
relevant. So, we got about 15 minutes here.
Okay.
NFL time. You're a Cowboy fan.
Right.
So, matchup-wise this weekend,
Favorable against the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a win just because the Seahawks are in such disarray and Pete can't coach a feral cat, isn't doing well. But, it's all good. I mean, I think the Cowboys are going to get the W, especially with how well the defense played against, the Giants. Yeah, fuck me, right?
but you got to do something out of that.
Right, especially with how the
Because
defense
Eldre
runs.
opened his mouth.
Yeah. Thanks for the monster, Eldre.
I'll name drop on that.
Right. But I would also say, with the Cowboys, now they have that confidence in that defense that they didn't have before the Giants. So thank you, Giants, for being fucking terrible.
So the Monday night game is a game that I'm actually quite interested in. Steelers-Tampa. At Tampa.
And this really opens up to another question about,
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston, exactly. Fitzmagic has done works. And here's what I said. Previously, I said, here's the thing. You ride the hot hand till the hot hand fucks up.
That's how I've always been. That's how we've been raised as sports fans.
Right. I mean, look at the pitcher. You ride that sumbitch till, he goes cross-eyed.
Look at Kurt Schilling.
Yeah.
They ran that dude till he had a bloody sock.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. So, I don't see Jameis Winston getting in until Fitzpatrick struggles. And then you yank that chain real hard. It's like that dog, who's out of control, and you're like, God, you son. Get
Right.
out there.
So, Steelers, I think, get beat on this game. Because they're showing a lot of problems in the locker room.
Yeah, and I think that's all stemming from a coaching staff who's lost it. So I think Mike Tomlin, a very good players coach, but maybe has overstayed his welcome.
Or maybe we're just finding out what kind of coach Tomlin is because a lot of his roster still was from Cowher.
Yeah. I mean, he won with Polamalu. He won with Roethlisberger. He won with
Harrison.
He won
Woodley.
Yep. And, you had Antonio Brown there. You had Hines Ward there.
So you had Le'Veon Bell as the rookie, but now he wants paid it.
Right. And you had Willie Parker at the time. You didn't have the bus, but still, you had that extra oomph with that running game and with that offensive line that you also accrued. But I think his issue is not one for I don't know. I just don't think he fits with Pittsburgh anymore. I think what they've changed, especially with his coaching staff decisions, has been more of a spread offense, not a rough, tough kind of Pittsburgh Steelers team. I think he lost the identity of the team.
I think he lost it the second that Le'Veon Bell did what he did.
Oh yeah.
I think, and then got rid of Martavius.
What are you gonna do? So you say you go to a job, and the manager is basically saying, "Hey, I need you to do this."
Right.
And you tell the manager, "Well, you can go fuck off." Are you gonna what are your
What's your consequences on that?
Right. If it's nothing, then your coworkers are gonna be like, "Oh, well, I can tell him to fuck off too."
And then you have mutiny.
Right. And then if the boss actually says, "Dude, you're fired," then they're like, "Okay, then shoot." But Tomlin didn't do that. He did the former. He's like, "Listen, no, I'm just gonna let you do whatever you want," and
we're seeing a lot from these players that are doing this. Like, look at Buffalo,
right?
Vontae Davis at halftime.
What a bitch move!
Like at halftime, just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get dressed. I'm
done.
I'm retired."
I don't blame him for wanting to retire. Finish the damn game.
At least
finish the. You don't have to finish the season. Finish the damn game.
Right.
Like, that's all you have to do. I mean, you're contractually obligated to like go to OTAs, be at training camp, but
And you didn't know that team was going to be horrible then?
You should have known, especially when you traded AJ McCarron, who is the only quarterback on that roster who was worth a fucking damn.
Right, the one that
honestly, when I saw that, I pulled a Deadpool and said, "What the ass?" I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Dude!
I pulled a Jeff Spicoli. I was like, what? And the bad part is AJ McCarron's now out in Oakland.
And he's still hurt.
With a coach that says it's hard to find a great pass rush when you had a pass rush and you traded it.
Right, and that's,
That's a different...
Yeah, that's Khalil Mack, and that's John Gruden being John Gruden. And
did you see his press conference where someone was asking him about that, and he said, I'm not answering John Gruden questions. And this was right after the Bears game.
Right.
They said, well, John Gruden said it's hard to find great pass rushers in the league. He's like, sorry, I'm not answering John Gruden questions right now.
That's fine. I appreciate that.
Because he knew.
That's professionalism.
Right.
I mean, I don't have fucking professionalism, obviously, but...
Well, no, we're sitting here drinking a beer while we're doing a radio show near expensive equipment.
Sorry, it's podcast?
No, we're live.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
So.
Well, no. Joe Rogan does a live podcast.
That's true, but he doesn't do. Does he do his own Facebook Live?
He does it YouTube Live.
Okay, you got me there.
Yeah.
So,
fucker.
10 minutes. We're coming up to it.
All right.
So you want to get into the what the fuck story?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I mean,
we've been building it for a minute.
This one just made me laugh my ass off. Cousins arrested after refusing to stop having sex during a funeral.
Amen. When you got a bone, you got a bone, but I don't know if it's your fucking first cousin.
And not just that, it's at your grandmother's funeral. So, it says the 31-year-old Tiffany Bates, 19-year-old Clifton Bridges. So at least they didn't have the same last name.
Right.
This is in Alabama, so roll tide.
Only at cousinsonly.com.
And this is like Talladega police, after several successful attempts to stop them from having sex.
Right.
So this sounds like this isn't the first time.
Right.
A woman who worked at the funeral home said the woman just kept screaming and the boy just kept pounding her like he was in a porno movie. They both looked high as fuck. That's what the employee said to the paper and to the cops, which this is the World News Daily Report. So Cousins arrested after refusing to have sex.
How fucking funny would it be if somebody told either one of them that they weren't actually cousins and it was a total fucking joke? And then they do this, and then afterwards they're like, we were kidding. And then just the pure horror.
The heartbreak.
The heartbreak of, oh my God! I hope he was wearing a condom.
Well, they don't give that information in the article, but they did say.
I hope for that baby's sake.
They are first cousins and have been living together as a couple for the past 6 months. So this.
So hey folks, just so you know, basically what you can do if you're lonely and afraid and can't find a chick or
go to Alabama.
Go to Alabama, date your fucking first cousin, and
you can live together.
You can live together. You can fuck all you want.
And this is what the police down in Talladega said in Talladega County. There's no law against first cousins having consensual sexual relationships in Alabama. So no charges will be pressed on that account. But they face 26 charges of lewd and lascivious behavior.
That's a big word for you, James.
Disturbing the peace of sanity in a public place and drug possession.
I wonder what drugs.
That sounds like a meth thing.
You know, when I first heard the story,
I thought Florida.
Well, kind of, but I also thought she must be either a skinny bitch because she's 31, drugs are involved, and she's fucking a 19-year-old.
And you were right.
Oh, was I? I'll be damned.
Then we got.
And he's probably a butt-ass, ugly-looking motherfucker who.
He kind of looks like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey guys.
Then we had this one. This one I was reading on the way here. This is like another what the fuck. Woman sues Samsung
Yeah.
For $1.8 million after a cell phone gets stuck in her vagina.
Well, if you can't afford a vibrator and you have a phone, when in Rome, right?
Right? I mean,
you just kind of stick that sucker up there, turn it sideways, and
and you were right.
Candy vagina.
And she said when she went to the emergency room, I wanted to see how it would feel to put my cell phone on vibration mode inside of me just for fun. But it soon turned out to be a nightmare. Samsung is definitely at fault here. There are no warning about dangers and potential risk about insertion of the products inside a female's cavity or genitalia.
Let me rant for a second. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not lying to you.
Are you that stupid?
Before you finish your rant, Apple faced a similar lawsuit in 2014 after a man had attempted to swallow 14 iPhones and ended up in the emergency room for mercury poisoning. Apple was eventually forced to legally specify that their products would not fit for human consumption.
Hey, folks. let me break this down for you. It's called common fucking sense. All right. If you have an object that you use to say converse with people, to talk to people, to post pictures and shit, you probably shouldn't use it to stick it up your fucking vagina or shove it down your throat. Are you? What? What are we even talking about here? Like, what?
I told you that's the name of this segment.
But here's my thing. Why in the hell are you putting your phone in your fucking vagina or down your throat?
So we're going to end our vagina talk with this one. I know you read this one. A couple hospitalized after the man gets his head stuck in his wife's vagina.
That's what I call giving head.
The woman told me that her husband had fallen, that his head was now stuck in her vagina.
You know what he needed? One of those buttons that said, I have fallen, I can't get up.
I don't know if they have, the woman kept screaming out in pain whenever the guy moved, but he had half of his face buried in there, and he looked like he was going through hell.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, that's kind of a tight space depending on the person, so, Jesus Christ.
The woman suffered severe internal bleeding.
Oh, yeah, okay, let me shove my whole fucking head in there, and no shit.
The man only had a few scrapes and bruises, but both suffer from post-traumatic stress.
He probably saw her pelvis, too. He's probably like, uh-oh, you have a crack in your pelvis. You better get that checked there, girl.
And all these stories, I am shitting you guys, are on the world, the World News Daily Report.
What happened to people actually having fucking sense?
It doesn't happen.
And
that's not even in the weird. That's just in news. There's actually a spot that says weird, and that's not in this.
You wonder about that guy though. He probably was going a little bit too hard in. He's trying to squeeze his way in. But that, hold on. Does that say more about the guy
or more about the girl?
Exactly.
All right, I know we said we're going to be done at 8 o'clock, but I'm going more through this, and I'm finding more and more that...
I want to talk about music, too.
Oh, all right, you have two choices. Sasquatch or midgets. You got to pick one story.
Oh, damn, and I love midgets, so why not?
Boston, members of a midget crime gang suspected of 55 break-ins.
I wonder if they dressed up as kids.
3 members of the so-called Irish mob midgets.
See, this is why Irish people are badass. Because they don't give a fuck. Jesus Christ. I really hope that they just walked in
kids'
clothes. Wait, do they already wear kids' clothes?
The way they go through is they go through pet doors. Although the Irish mob midgets officially describe themselves as a non-profit motorcycle enthusiastic group, 4 small people in the Boston area, several high-profile members of the organization have been arrested in past years on charges of drug trafficking, arson, and aggravated assault.
Yeah, and Caitlyn Jenner still says she's a woman and yet still has a dick.
I'm telling you, some of these... All right, so let's move to music. Next week, next Saturday, we will actually place 20 minutes or something for What the Fuck News.
20 minutes. We'll have to do an hour.
I'm bookmarking this page right now.
And hey, folks, if you find anything on Reddit and or any other site that you are on, please let us know. Put it on our page. Make it hilarious. Because again, we don't give a fuck. And this entertain us, please.
Right. We need stuff. We'll need stuff to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, music.
Um.
Other than Ivan Moody opening his fucking mouth and signing on MGK over Eminem.
Hey, Ivan Moody is
he's moody.
Yeah, but he cannot be blamed for the actions of his mouth. Because he says some shit, and he's an awesome dude. Saw him live. Favorite band.
We blame Stormy Daniel for the actions of her mouth.
But and we also blame Rapeless Burger for 3 now attempted rapes. But hey, fuck us, right? But I mean, Ivan Moody, he's a guy who's in recovery and working hard on that, and then he goes off and says this, and then you're like, what?
Are we sure he's not drinking again?
Yeah, I mean, because at least when he was at the Blossom, he made it abundantly clear that, he was working really, really hard on, focusing on more than just alcoholism and whatnot. But James, I have a song of the week.
What's your
Actually,
song?
two that are really, really good.
Bird's the word?
3. Okay, fine, you got me there. No, but so Ask Alexandra's new tune, "Alone in a Room."
That album's been out for almost a year now.
I know,
dude.
it's still this is our first show, fucker. So it's fine.
Okay, I'll add one to that Mad Hatter.
Yeah, that's
by
pretty
Vince
good.
Semple.
Yeah.
We both listened to that yesterday.
And I'll also say "Bad Flower" by Ghost.
Yes.
That's a fucking phenomenal tune.
I heard that song on the way here, actually, and I was like, this is fucking Ghost?
Yeah.
Like, I like Square Hammer. I like a lot of their other stuff.
Right.
But this one is...
It's different. And if you watch the music video, it is dark. And which Ghost normally goes a little bit dark, but this is like legit.
This is something you would hear maybe on a pop station, maybe. Yeah. That could get some airplay on a pop station.
Yeah, but since it's Ghost, it's, on the major rock stations right now. And honestly, Ghost is phenomenal. I love Ghost to death. Their sound is just like second to none, really. And then you also look at Asking Alexandra. They've had good tunes here and there, but all in all, it's still the same. But Alone in a Room really, really got to me. And we finally see Avenged Sevenfold as a band who is kind of back to their roots.
From what we heard in Mad Hatter,
right,
which is for the 10-year anniversary of Zombies for Black Ops 4,
right.
It sounded a lot like maybe the Afterlife album.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Beast in the Harlot kind of stuff.
Right.
But right now there's a lot of medical issues going on with M Shadows. They had to pull out of Louder Than Life. They've had to adjust their schedules.
If you look at Louder Than Life, how many people that they've had to pull out? M Shadows, Hell Yeah with Vinnie Paul.
Which tragedy for Vinnie Paul. Yeah. Bad Wolves ended up pulling out.
You're right, because they had to finish up their tour with Breaking Benjamin and Five Finger.
Right.
Which I also saw them live. Fucking phenomenal. Band of the week right there.
Then you have bands like Fozzy not getting a lot of air. Well, they're getting a lot of airplay now.
Yeah, but they're not on the festival tours, which is kind of confusing to me. I understand Chris Jericho has his fucked up schedule, but, just seeing them not be in, like, say, a Louder Than Life, a Rock on the Range, per se, if you're from Columbus and whatnot.
It's not Rock on the Range anymore.
No, fuck them.
Sonic Temple.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it once. Bring back Rock on the Range, or else. That is all.
Tis be all.
But anyway, but Fozzy, I'm surprised they weren't, on or at the Rock on the Range more.
I saw them when they were there. I think 3 years ago they played.
Right, but I'm surprised.
Third stage.
I'm surprised they haven't worked themselves up, like MGK did, and Breaking Benjamin did, and
Hailstorm
did as well. So Starset has too, but they haven't gone as quickly as most others.
Right, they didn't take the route as quick as some of the other bands have.
Mm-hmm. And then you also have shit. But anyway, I mean, Fozzy, I'm surprised isn't on more of these festival tours because they're phenomenal live. Sometimes their recorded shit is good, but it's not great. But when they get live, you're like, holy shit. Like, yeah. And then that's the same with Five Finger Death Punch, I feel like. They are really, I would say, good as a recorded band.
But way better live.
Way better live. And
what it is, they're entertainers.
Right. And then you look at a band like Bad Wolves.
Entertainers.
Right. But his voice sounds exactly the same as if it's recorded. So he's great in both. He really is. And I am tickled to death. Now, nothing more. His voice was a little shaky. I think it's just because of wear and tear. And just kind of the music that they do.
Well, yeah, a lot of their songs are really long.
Right. Like Jenny's really fucking long.
But Jenny, he does have that awesome bongo solo that you usually bring out.
And they did that. Also, with that, I didn't realize the story behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shit, dude. Because he said, hey, this one's for my sister. And I thought it was like a girlfriend or something, which would still make it sad. But that, your sister, ODs, no longer with us. I mean, that's awful.
The acoustic version of the song is also phenomenal, for sure.
Because I saw one when he did the acoustic version, and he damn near cried.
Man, it's a really great song.
And unfortunately, I've heard he's kind of a prick.
I don't know. A couple of the friends I got on social media have met him and said he's actually really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But that might have been when they were really early in their career.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've heard mixed stories, and I really want to meet them. I'm sad that I didn't get to meet any of them, any of the bands that I saw at the Blossom up in Cleveland. But it is what it is, I suppose.
So, how are you feeling? We about done? You get your balls itched?
Not really the way I wanted, but I mean that's a story for another day. I mean, I'm good if you are.
So we got a good
hour plus,
hour 5 minute pilot episode.
Yeah, I mean, usually our shows are probably going to be a bit longer, just depending on like if we have a guest or what
we might do 3-4 hour shows.
Honestly, when we say we don't give a fuck, I mean that's really what it is. Me and James could literally talk for like hours upon hours upon hours. And we have done so.
Oh, there's still fucked up news stories we could sit here all day going through.
Right, exactly. And I could give my comedy spiel and be all funny and shit. But I've had 45 minutes of sleep, and I'm fucking tired.
And we got a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah, Battle on the Border is tomorrow. For those of you who did not see the Rob Conway interview.
For those that maybe are just tuning in, the Hands of Justice don't know what Battle on the Border is. Battle on the Border is one of the best and upcoming wrestling organizations in Southern Ohio and Southern Indiana, Kentucky area, tri-state area.
Hence Battle on the Border.
Right. Our champion is Johnny Knockout from Orlando, the City of Champions.
Right.
We have 2 hardcore steel cage matches. We've had stars like a Rob Conway come in, Chase Owens, Ricky Morton, Brian Pillman Jr. was here not too long ago. Mr. Hughes, Marty Jannetty. For those that don't know Mr. Hughes, he trained Apollo Crews.
Mm-hmm.
He trained Heath Slater. He's also trained Kiera Hogan.
Right.
And plus others. So he's legit.
Yeah.
And that's a seminar. So if you're maybe listening to this and it's still Friday evening, Saturday morning, and you want to come out to the show, Battle on the Border Wrestling on Facebook, you can get your tickets, or Eventbrite.
Or you can even message us, and then we can kind of steer you in the right direction.
Right, we can maybe send you the link of where you have to go and stuff like that. Me and Seth will actually both be there.
Mm-hmm. We'll do meet and greets, too.
Yeah, they do meet you. You can do your meet and greets, buy merchandise, support local indie wrestling, for sure. If a guy's selling you a T-shirt, definitely buy it because that's how these guys eat.
Right. I mean, as a friend of mine did say, he says the only indie wrestlers that make money are the ones that already have money.
Right. And because they can afford to buy the expensive merchandise and try to sell it a lot more. You can get a Rob Conway action figure signed by Rob Conway himself. Johnny Knockout sells his death mask that he hand paints every one of them himself.
Which is really cool.
So, and you get an opportunity like this. Like I said, you can also hit us up on Hands of Justice on Facebook.
Right.
And we can lead you that way.
You can also go to Instagram at hands_of_justice. You can also email us if you have any questions or any of the events that we are doing, whether it's Battle on the Border or any other MMA or anything like that we may be doing coming up. And that email is handsjustice@gmail.com. You can also go to our Mixcloud, which is Hands of Justice. So that Mixcloud, we did make a post about it, and we'll put that on our About page where you can find all of our past stuff, as well as go to our YouTube page. Eventually, kind of the plan is to go from Facebook to YouTube. Facebook is a great outlet to get started, and we're a wide open door. We're gonna tell you what we think and what we want to do, and both of us are really looking forward to make an imprint, our own imprint on this world. And what better way to do this than media, than to be able to talk about things and maybe give a different perspective on things that maybe you at home aren't expecting. And with a little bit of fuck.
Right.
The word fuck.
Yeah, don't get it.
But anyway, we'll put, there's already a post with the Mixcloud link on it, as well as the YouTube. We're going to put that in our About page, so that way you have a direct link of, hey, I can go here, here, and here. So make sure you like and subscribe. And if you like our stuff, let us know too. Comment. Send us emails.
Maybe some story ideas or something you'd like to see us talk about.
Right,
Ben.
and if you have an idea for a top 5 list. Like
Yes.
we said, we're going to be doing a top 5 list. The next one is, boxing.
Next Saturday.
From today till Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday, have your boxing movies ready.
Only one Rocky can be used.
Right. And if you don't use Rocky 4, you are a dumbass.
Well, I can deal with somebody putting maybe Rocky 1.
No.
So then also if maybe you're watching and just tuned in and you missed some of the show, like you said, Mixcloud, YouTube, we're gonna upload the whole video up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that. Let's just say you watch us and you find us offensive.
Yep.
That's fine. You don't have to watch us, but share us out. Maybe somebody that does like what we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun shit that people say and do. That way, maybe if you don't like us, like James said, somebody else might.
Right, and that's what we're here for. We're going to speak our mind, and if you don't like it, we don't give a fuck.
Right. I mean, like I said, we're going to be very transparent, and, unlike my camo, I guess. But, we'll be very transparent, and we're not going to sugarcoat shit. As you already heard.
If you were listening to the last hour, you
already know that me and my mouth get me in trouble. So
we're talking about Samsung being sued because a woman got her phone stuck in a vagina.
I swear, if we don't move quickly past this, then yeah, I'm gonna go off.
So, all right. So, last thing I do want to say: if you are maybe know a small business, a gym or an MMA or boxing gym that would love to have us do some interviews with the guys,
Absolutely.
Reach out to us. We'll come out to you guys. Our studio is mobile.
Yep. We have our own soundboards, and we run everything through great equipment. So it's very reliable equipment. It's not something that, we just patch together. I mean, this has been a very diligent process by both of us. James, it's been a little bit longer, and so he's been able to accrue some things that have been, able to make at least what we have now really fucking awesome.
We got music coming.
Yep, we have a new intro coming up, as well as we have a kick-ass outro. You're welcome.
Which we will have next Saturday. And like I said, the studio we're going to be permanently in for at least for a while is being finished as we speak.
Right. And so basically folks, just let us know what you think. Let us know if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Share us out. I saw we're already almost 100 views.
Yeah.
And been waiting on my computer to fucking update, but it's still at 84%, and it has been for the past,
It might be because I'm sucking all the
30
internet.
fucking minutes, but whatever. Technology, right? Great. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we just appreciate everybody who's watched so far and who will continue to watch. And make sure, like I said, like, subscribe, share, all that shit.
So we're both going to head out of here. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next week. Share us out. Get the word out. The hands of justice.
Get these hands, son.
So we are out. Thank you.